it's really interesting. So many people get diagnosed with anxiety and depression, which I've often found a little humorous, because diagnosing with someone with an obvious symptom isn't particularly helpful, other than how can we mitigate or get rid of the symptom. And believe me, if you're suffering from anxiety, I don't think anybody in the throes of an anxiety attack or panic attack may be too interested in that moment as to what the underlying cause is. They're just hurting and they want it to stop. So a lot of people come here that have anxiety. They've taken now medication to help mitigate, help soothe the anxiety. And unfortunately, a lot of studies, a lot of scientific studies are now showing that a lot of the medications that were initially given to help with anxiety and depression are actually taken long enough, creating more anxiety and more depression. So by the time people come here, they don't just have the first layer of anxiety. It's been compounded by whatever coping strategies they've been using to help mitigate the anxiety, whether it's with a prescription or whether it's a drug that they're taking on their own, an illegal drug, whether it's alcohol, whatever it is. So now we've got compounded symptoms happening when they show up here. So, of course, when people come, we want to help with the anxiety, help calm the nervous system so that they feel safe. They're not in fight or flight. They're not in the hypervigilance. The stress response isn't so activated. So we do a lot of different modalities that are going to help with that, whether it's through certain body work, through some brain supplement protocol, through some biofeedback techniques, through the heart math, through different energy medicine techniques. We help with that so that people just feel safe. All of a sudden they're not on high alert. Their hearts aren't racing. The monkey mind isn't going. Step one. So first we help with that. And if there are medication issues, what's the appropriate medication? What are the appropriate supplements? A lot of people have been over-medicated or given cocktails of things. So we want to help figure out what the right balance is, again, so that the person's system can be calm enough to then do the key work. Anxiety is a symptom. We're not born anxious. We're not defective. Like, there aren't anxious people, just don't, fall from the sky. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of something deeper. So yes, let's calm the symptom. Let's get so that we're feeling not anxious, so that we can really figure out what's going on. What's happening? Why? Why are you anxious? And then people might say, well, it's just a chemical imbalance. Okay. What caused that? Again, we're not just born chemically imbalanced. There is a cause and an effect. So we understand that we need to make sure the symptomology is not overwhelming. However, why? We're really curious at the sanctuary. Why are you depressed? Why are you anxious? We just don't stop at the symptom. That's not very interesting. We all of us can experience different degrees of anxiety and depression, from just low levels to extreme levels, all of which, depression and anxiety, believe it or not, are not the problem. They're actually coping strategies. I don't think people often make that connection. Depression and anxiety are ways to actually help people not have to go to places they're not ready to go, whether it's unresolved trauma, past issues that we're not ready to deal with, pain, sadness, grief, loss, anger. If we are not in a place in our lives or don't know how to access this, then anxiety and depression are actually a saving grace. They're actually a godsend, let's say. They're our own innate coping strategy to protect us from those parts of us that we're not ready to go and deal with because they're too frightening. They're too overwhelming for us. However, at some point, the anxiety and depression become overwhelming as well. So we now have to not only deal with that, but we need to get underneath and heal what's really going on.